Okay, so got it in the air. I went over, took a nice overview look, kind of wanted to see what was going on. And, that's pretty much what I thought. The reason I did buy this car was because the body was pretty straight. The panels were all good. It looked pretty unmolested as the body. On factory bumper, we do have a crack right here. I'm hoping that I can just fix this and we won't have to replace the bumper, because I really don't want to take off any body panels that we don't have to, because I don't want them to not line up. So we have the inner fender liners here, so that's good. Hasn't been molested like that. Of course, we got our Z32 brakes, our wheels. They are actually all facing the same direction. We're missing our center caps. Brakes, we need to rebuild the brake calipers and just go ahead and do that. It's an older car, to be expected. One thing we have some upper control arms that are aftermarket. I'm not sure who they are or if they'll even end up staying on the car. And we have some aftermarket shock struts, and it looks like somebody put some stainless steel brake lines on it at some point, but there's no coating on the brake line, so it's just exposed line. We're going to change those as well. For that, everything else looks pretty stock. Supposedly the motor was swapped at some point. They didn't know when the timing belt was replaced, and that's why that's the #1 issue for me. But getting down here, we have some oil leaks. Front main seal. I'm pretty sure the rear main seal is leaking too, but we got a crunched oil pan. And I'm assuming that's from, this is a junkyard motor probably, and everybody just sets it on the oil pan, and when they swap it in the car, they didn't take time to put a new oil pan on. Not thrilled about that, but the plan is not to have this powertrain in the car for long, so we're just gonna hope for the best on that. The other thing, I'm not sure where the oil's all coming from, is that oil pressure sending unit is soaked. That oil pressure sending unit is soaked with oil. Oh, I mean, it is everywhere down there. I'm gonna change that first, get a new one on there and clean it up, and then see where the oil still is at, because it could literally be putting oil everywhere. Moving down, we got our automatic transmission. Pan seems to be fine. Our stock exhaust, so factory exhaust, minus the mufflers that we have to put back on. As you can see, the rails, no major rust issues on the rails. Still have a lot of the undercoating. I mean, they've definitely been beat up a little bit, but no major rust, so that's a #1. Wheels and tires. Tires are no good. Moving to the back. All right, so we moved to the back of the vehicle. Same deal. Brake lines, aftermarket struts. Well, they were nice enough to leave our hangers for our exhaust. So we have all of our exhaust hangers. Our rear end there, everything looks dry on that. These bushings for the subframe, whatever they filled them with, they're no good. So we may end up just dropping the subframe, replacing all the bushings. Probably what I'll end up doing. Not today, but down the road on this build. Everything else is looking as it should. No rust that I can see. Gas tank looks good. No signs of leakage. Of course, our Z32 brakes there. We'll rebuild the back as well. We got some key damage here. And some just scuffing up and paint chips on the door. I said, not a big deal, we'll get it painted anyways, get a fresh coat of paint. Rocker panels, like I said, no rust. No rust, and that's what I was looking for. A no rust chassis, straight body panels, that it could donate to the project. And we got our factory black line there. I mean, it's seen better days, but that's why I know no one's messed with the body. We got a little bit of issue with the spoiler there. Hopefully I can fix it, because I just want to keep it there and not have to do a lot of body work. Taillights all look good, so, and interior looks good for the most part, pretty much as it should. All right, so that's The underneath of the car, definitely some oil leakage. A few things we'll address right off the bat. We'll do the timing belt. I did negotiate that into the price of the car from the fact that we did not know when it was done last and that it was going to have to be addressed right off the bat. Otherwise, it's a ticking time bomb of when it's just going to go. No rust. Pretty straight body panels for a 30-year-old car. Little TLC. The interior looks as to be expected for, like I said, a car that's just kind of been a daily driver for somebody for the last almost 30 years. And in that case, and it's lived in the desert, and who knows how long it's been in the garage. It looks like it's had a lot of time outside, so for the leather not to be all destroyed and the dash not to be cracked, that's a huge plus. So we're gonna clean up a little bit and get the exhaust back on, but that's just kind of the overview of what maybe you should look for too when you're gonna go buy a used car, especially like a 30-year-old car. But it doesn't even matter, if it's 5 years old, you wanna look, make sure, what does the oil leakage look like? Is there any? Which there shouldn't be if it's only 5 years, but if it's 30 years, you're gonna expect something to be there. Some seals that need to be replaced, or did they replace them all? Also, rust. That's like the number one. Where did the car come from? I've seen some cars out of Canada that are hideous. Oh my God, run away from those. Seattle, anywhere where it's really wet, they had a lot of snow, they salt the road, and if it's just a daily driver and lives outside, they drive it and all that salt, road salt and moisture just always gets kicked up. You know, is there gonna be a rust? Number one place to look for that, like these rocker panels right here, just underneath the rail, you should be able to peek your head underneath there and see. Luckily, this car spent all of its time in the desert down in Southern California, then a little bit in Nevada when we went and picked it up. So it's dry down there. There's not a lot of humidity, if any, and so they don't salt the roads for snow or anything like that. Keeps it nice and dry, keeps the rust off of it. So that, and what's the maintenance schedule look like? Like, when was the timing belt done on this? When was the timing belt done on the car that you're going to purchase? Is it an interference engine? Is it a big deal? Is it a timing chain? Those are just all questions. Do your research, what you're getting yourself into before you get there. And then, of course, all your exterior, your interior, and what does that look like? Is there damage? What's the damage look like? Is it repairable? Is it replaceable? Can you find parts? Is it worth your time? This is obviously a project car. It's not going to be, it's kind of going to be a DD. It has a backseat. I have 2 kids, so we'll do a little backseat. I wanted to get the 2+2 just for the backseat because the backseat on the 180 is like barely there. There's no backseat on the Z. And the truck is the DD, but you know, we'll have to switch it up a little bit. So what we have to do is clean this up, do a little maintenance, and we should be good. We should be able to drive this thing for a while before we tear out that motor and do something super fun, which I'm excited about. All right, so hopefully this was helpful. What kind of questions do you have when you're buying a car? What do you look for? Let me know. Maybe something I didn't cover. I'm sure I didn't cover it. I just barely touched the surface on what, you know, skimming over. It gets a little bit deeper. So if you have any questions, put it in the comment section below. If you found this helpful at all, hit the thumbs up. I appreciate it. Helps us keep more content. Let me know someone's watching. So anyways, talk to you next time. Bye.